Hi everyone. I'm going to be recording a reading of the entire Gemara that's going to be appearing on our oral exam this coming Thursday. I hope that this helps you, and I hope you're able to hear me. I'm speaking over my dishwasher in the background, so I'm going to try to speak extra loud so that you can hear me. Let's start. We're reading from Bava Kama, Masechet Bava Kama, Daf Chav Zayin Amud Bet. Shalach le Rav Chisda the Rav Nachman. Rav Chisda sent to him to Rav Nachman. Rav Chisda is about to ask Rav Nachman a question. And it makes sense that the Gemara frames it not just that Rav Chisda asked Rav Nachman this question, but rather that he sent the question to him. Because as we learned in class, Rav Nachman lived in Nehardea and Rav Chisda lived in Sura. And although both were located in Bavel, outside of Israel, they were not exactly right next to each other, so therefore Rav Chisda had to send with messengers this question. Here's the question. Hare amru l'rechuva shalosh, v'le'be'ita chamish, v'le'sano karet shalosh esrei. Behold, they say that for kneeing you pay 3, and for kicking 5, and for punching 13. Panda dimara v'lekupina dimara mai. For hitting someone with the handle of a shovel or with the top of a shovel, how much would you pay? Mai simply means what. So for hitting with the handle of a shovel or with the top of the shovel, the blade, what? Really, it seems as though Rav Chisda is asking, how much would you pay? Rashi over here explains Shalosh Esrei. When the Gemara was giving us all these values, it was talking about Sla'im, which is a type of coin, Leboshato, specifically for his embarrassment. So for all of these actions that Rav Chisda mentioned, it's known that for each one, there's an individual amount of Sla'im that one pays toward the boshet, toward the embarrassment that you cause for the person. So let's start again. Shlosh Esrei Sla'im, 13 sla'im, 13 of these type of coin, leboshato levad, just for his embarrassment. Chiyuv sha'ar ha'devarim. But this is separate from the rest of the 4 things that we learned about. So there's tsa'ar, ripoy, shevet, and nezek. Here, we're only talking about embarrassment. So Rav Chisda wants to know, for this particular action of hurting someone with a shovel, how much would you have to pay for their embarrassment? Shalach le. Rav Nachman responds to Rav Chisda. Shalach le literally means he sent to him. Chisda, kinta kamigabi babavel? Rav Nachman says to Rav Chisda, what are you thinking? Do we collect a knas, a penalty in Bavel? Emali gufa de'uvda hechi hava. Say to me itself what happened, how it was. Rav Nachman tells Rav Chisda, it's impossible that you're explaining to me that this case is simply where someone hurt someone else and now they have to pay for the boshet. Because that boshet functions like a knas, which means a penalty. We learned some other examples of knas, a penalty, and we saw that it's the type of payment that comes on top of the principal. The principal of a payment is what you actually owe to the other person, but a knas is an extra fine that's added on top of that. And because, as we saw in Tosfot outside and learned about in Fellows, since there was not a powerful enough Beit Din in Eretz Yisrael at the time, a Beit Din Gadol, and we lost the ability to truly judge cases in Bavel. Therefore, this case cannot just simply be a case of collecting boshet, since boshet is like a knas. So Rav Nachman says to Rav Chisda, tell me what actually happened. Give me more details about the case. Shalach le, Rav Chisda sent back to Rav Nachman, Tehahu garguta debei trei. There was a cistern or a well that belonged to 2 people. Tuchol yoma hava dale chad minayu. That each day, their arrangement was that one person would draw water from it. Atachad kadale beyoma delo delay. One of the guys come, and it's on a day, and he starts drawing on this day where he is not supposed to be drawing. Amar le, the person whose day is supposed to be for drawing water, says to the person who's taking the water wrongfully, Yoma didihu. It's my day? Lo eshkach be. The person who was taking the water wrongfully did not pay attention to him, to the person who he had this deal with that was telling him that it was rightfully his day to take water. Shakal pada demara machya. So the person whose day it was took this handle of the shovel and hit the other person who was taking his water wrongfully. So now Rav Chisda has clarified that this case that he was originally asking about, of hitting someone with the handle of a shovel, really the context of the case is that person A is trying to get person B from stealing his water, since they had an arrangement that each day they would draw water from their shared well, but person B has started to wrongfully take water on the day that's not his. Amar le, so Rav Nachman responds to Rav Chisda, Mea pande bepanda lamachya. Rav Nachman says, this person, 100 times with the handle of the shovel, he can hit him. Of course this person is allowed to hurt the other one. Afilu lemain de amar lo avid inish dina lenavshe. And this would be true even according to the opinion that thinks a person may not take the law into their own hands. Why? B'makom pseida avid inish dina lenavshe. Because even that opinion that would make that statement, really, they would say that in a place, in a circumstance where there's going to be pseida, which means loss, a person may take the law into their own hands. To itmar Rav Yehuda amar lo avid inish dina lenavshe. As it is said, Rav Yehuda stated that a person may not take the law into their own hands. Rav Nachman amar avid inish dina lenavshe. Rav Nachman says a person may take the law into his hands. Heichad avid deika pseida, kule alma lo plige de avid inish dina lenavshe. Where there is a loss, everyone agrees, the whole world, or everyone agrees, they do not argue, because they all say that a person may take the judgment into his own hands and may carry out the judgment for himself. Ki plige, where they do argue, is hecha deleka pseida, where there is no loss. Rav Yehuda amar lo avid inish dina lenavshe. Rav Yehuda holds that in a case where there is no loss that is being prevented, a person may not take the law into their own hands. To kevan deleka pseida lizil kame dayana. That since there is no loss, he should go before a beit din. Rav Nachman amar avid inish dina lenavshe de kevan dibadin avid lo tarach. Rav Nachman says, no, even if there is not going to be a loss, a person may take the judgment into their own hands. Since the judgment is on their side, they carried out the true judgment. Lo tarach, they should not have to bother. It should not be a burden on them to have to go to court. They should be allowed to carry out the judgment since the law is on their side. Mativ Rav Kahana brings an attack. Ben Bagbag Omer, al tikanes lechatzer chavercha litol et shalcha shalo b'reshut. Don't go into the courtyard of your friend to take what's yours without permission. Shema tir'el of kiganav. Perhaps you will look like to him as though you are a thief. Ella shibor et shinav v'amorlo shali ani notel. Rather, you should break his teeth and say to him, I am taking what is mine. Rashi clarifies, Ella shibor et shinav, when Ben Bagbag said you should break the other person's teeth, kilomar, as if to say, kach b'chazaka. Take your item back b'chazaka, with strength. Rashi is explaining for us Ben Bagbag is telling us to have an attitude of confidence, that we should go in with an air of confidence that we are rightfully taking what's ours. And Rashi points out, Vikashel Rav Yehuda, and this is an issue according to Rav Yehuda. Amarle, so Rav Yehuda, according to Rashi, is responding now to Rav Kahana's attack. Imcha ben Bagbag. Ben Bagbag can stay with you, Rav Kahana. Yechida ahu, he is a singular opinion, he's a lone opinion. Uplige Rabbanan alaha, and our rabbis argue against him. So that's one way that Rav Yehuda would be able to refute Ben Bagbag's opinion, that he's just one opinion, but really all the other rabbis, the majority of rabbis, agree with him, Rav Yehuda, that you can only take the law into your own hands in order to prevent a loss. And only Rav Nachman and Ben Bagbag are the two people that disagree with Rav Yehuda, but everyone else agree with Rav Yehuda. Rav Yanai Amar, my shibur at shinav. Rav Yanai comes and is going to give a different way to defend Rav Yehuda. So what did Ben Bagbag mean when he said, you should break his teeth? Badin, in judgment. So according to Rav Yanai, when Ben Bagbag said shibur at shinav, you should go break the person's teeth, he meant that you should break his teeth in judgment. Ihachi, if so, if what Rav Yanai is saying is true, and Ben Bagbag really meant that the person should go to court, ve'amur lo, ve'omrim lo mi ba'ilei. When Ben Bagbag said that the person who's going to take his stuff back should say ve'amur lo, and he should say to him, if Ben Bagbag, according to Rav Yanai, really meant that this person should go to court, it shouldn't say ve'emor lo and he in the singular should say to him, ve'omrim lo, and you in plural should say to him, ve'omrim lo mi ba'ilei. It should have said ve'omrim lo. Again, shali ani notel, quoting Ben Bagbag's words. Ben Bagbag said, I am taking what's mine. According to Rav Yanai, if Ben Bagbag is talking about someone taking someone else to court, that one individual person, isn't talking to the person who has his object. Rather, shalohu notel mi ba'ilei. Rather, it should have said, he is taking what's his. The court should be speaking to the person with the item in his hand and telling him you should return it because he's taking back what's his. Kasha, it is a challenge or it is a difficulty. The Gemara ends off being somewhat confused about how to interpret Ben Bagbag's statement, and therefore we do not know which way to resolve Ben Bagbag's statement, whether it's truly an attack against Rav Yehuda and he's just an individual who disagrees with Rav Yehuda, or perhaps if he really is agreeing with Rav Yehuda and saying that you should take the person to din, to court, to get a judgment. And as we talked about in class, kasha implies that we're not really sure exactly how to resolve this difficulty, but we have somewhat of a sense about how to resolve it. In contrast, a tiyufta is a case where we really don't know how to resolve the difficulty. However, we also brought a different distinction between kasha and tiyufta, where we said that a kasha comes between two tanaim, at the end of an argument between two tanaim, whereas a tiyufta comes at the end of an argument between two amoraim. All right, we'll finish off with the last sugya. Tashma, come in here. This is going to introduce a braita. Shur sha'ala al gav chavero lahorgo, uba ba'al hatachton vishimet et shelo, vinafal alyon v'meit pator. An ox that goes on top of the back of his friend to kill him, he starts attacking him, and the owner of the ox on the bottom comes and removes his ox, and the top ox falls and dies, he is patur. The owner of the ox on the bottom that caused the death of the ox on the top is exempt from paying for the ox that had died. My love, bimuad delekapseda, is it not that we are talking about an ox that is forewarned? meaning that there would not be any loss.